Welcome to Calvin Logic, where we use my thoughts and take my crazy logic to talk about anything and everything. And today we are talking about Mortal Kombat, the legend, No. Scorpion's Revenge. I don't know why I thought the legend. Oh well. So guys, today we are taking a new movie that came out a couple of weeks ago. It is on one of my favourite characters in one of my favourite universes, the Mortal Kombat universe. Now this movie is brilliant. I've known about it for a while. It's an animated movie done by Warner Brothers with assistance from NetherRealm Studios. That studio are the guys who make the Mortal Kombat games, and they frequently work with Warner Brothers, so it's no surprise that NetherRealm and their head creator, Ed Boon, were listed as creative consultants on this project. It's wonderful to see. So, let's jump in. This is going to be a mix between a movie review and my thoughts. Good, bad, and the gory, because first off, this movie is very, very gory. Now, it is animated, so it's not real blood, but I would recommend anybody under the age of 15, maybe 14, not to watch it. What did I like about this movie? Well, the start of this movie is brilliant. It sets up the whole movie wonderfully. You're looking at a bunch of ants attacking this scorpion. Now, by the looks of the ants, they're probably fire ants, so they sting. But then you cut to this little kid and his father is explaining to him how the scorpion is standing its ground and using everything it can to fight off these ants. And that sets this movie up wonderfully, considering the dad of this kid is the main character, the guy who would turn into Scorpion. As I said, this movie is very gory, but if you can make it past the first 5-ish minutes, essentially the big extended scene after that first intro is where the most gore of the movie is. It's the most intense, it's the most bloody on screen for pretty much the whole movie. But it is definitely well worth the watch. And I think most people will be able to handle it, but definitely if you can watch that first 5-6 minutes and get past it, you'll be fine for the rest of the movie. Now that said, what I also like is that the amount of blood they use in this movie works well because of the animation they use. The animation is very simple, but it's also what I like to call a smooth animation, a smooth glossy animation. I don't know exactly how they did it. It looks like they did use a little bit of 3D and 2D mix, but I'm not sure. But this movie, you see the facial lines are very, and even the hands and stuff, they're very square or chiseled, a lot of straight lines, but it lends itself to this smooth looking animation, which for the fight scenes where a lot of these characters have supernatural powers or are just peak humans or creatures, it lends itself really well to the fight scenes, because you can go from a quick running with a good right hook and swords swinging everywhere, and it kind of, this animation and that smoothness also leads itself nicely to the motion. So yeah, brilliant use of animation in regards to what the movie was. All the characters in this movie are brilliant, even the evil ones. You might be thinking, oh, shouldn't the evil ones be shit? Well, they are shit, but they are brilliant shit. I guess you could call them golden poo. But no, the characters in this are done phenomenally. If you go back and look at the Mortal Kombat games and the extended lore surrounding the games, you can see that they took inspiration from those games perfectly. They use a lot of established lore, since this is essentially the movie around the first game. But they do change a couple of things, tweak a couple of things that has made it so that if they go forward with more, then they can slightly tweak things how they want to go forward in a more cinematic story rather than a game story, which is perfectly fine. I think they did all the characters justice. The main character in this film is Scorpion, and he is done perfectly. We see what happens to him at the start and how he becomes Scorpion, and then when he is Scorpion, they utilize his character, his powers, marvelously to really near perfection. We get to see his big rival Sub-Zero, and they set up more movies to come and the storyline of those two really well. We get to see good utilization of his powers. I think that was one of the best things in this movie, is whenever we see Sub-Zero, his ice powers are done. They're done really cool. Excuse the pun, but the color of the ice and just the things he makes and does with the ice are quite simple. They didn't really go for anything convoluted, but they definitely used Sub-Zero to the best they could in this movie, and I'm looking forward to more Sub-Zero and Scorpion interaction in the future. You might be thinking, what about the other characters? Well, we have people like Sonya Blaze, Johnny Cage, Goro, who is the big bad, or minor big bad. We have people like Raiden and other ones in there that are brilliant as well. But these characters that I just mentioned are the ones that stood out to me. There are other ones in there that are more main characters, and they're done quite well too, but Goro as the Mortal Kombat champion and the one that our heroes have to defeat was done well. He didn't talk much, but that's alright. He was definitely a formidable opponent, and you could feel it in the movie that he has been undefeated for a long time. So when he finally gets what's coming to him, oh, spoilers alert, it lets you know that the one who's done it, it gives you a gauge for the power range and the skill sets of the people in this movie, which is amazing. I thought the setup and introduction for all of our main characters were done really, really well. They were short, they were simple, and they got to the essence of those characters really well. In fact, I will put up Johnny Cage's intro right here.
No, listen. We can make this work, I promise. But what do I have to do, huh?
How about cleaning this hellhole you call a home? How about doing something besides crying about your career? You only care about yourself. It's all about Johnny Cage. Call me when you grow up.
So I can still call her then. That's a W.
Hope you enjoyed that. That's a sneak peek of the movie. If you liked that, then yeah, I'm sure you will love the rest of the movie. But that goes to show you the smooth and simple animation that I'm talking about. And yeah, it's a nice bright movie, which I thought was amazing, considering Mortal Kombat is a darker, more grim storyline in the games. It is using a darker color palette most of the time. So it was nice to see that nice vibrant settings and costumes. The voice actors did a brilliant job. There was no point in the movie, and I've watched it about 2 or 3 times now. There was no point where I felt, oh, that voice actor didn't really portray their character well. I thought they all did a good job. The standout voice actor to me was Raiden. I thought his voice actor was perfect for his role. He captured that slow-talking, wise, elder god, wizardy, all-knowing, all-powerful god that he is, and really did Raiden justice. And even though we don't see a whole lot of what Raiden can do, we get an idea for it. We do get to see a good scale and representation of his powers, and I can't wait to see him in more movies going forward, providing that hopefully they do more. They have left it open for more movies, and knowing Warner Brothers, if this goes well, which I'm sure it will, they played their cards right. They played it a little bit more safe. They made it quite short, really. If you take out the credits, the movie is about an hour 17. So, not too long. It was a good enough size. I felt that they could have added another 10, maybe even 15 minutes to it to just bring more of the world in, bring other side characters or the main characters, just develop them a little bit more. But in saying that, it never felt rushed. It was a good pacing throughout. It was good time. It was a good time at the movies, even though I didn't see it at the movies. I saw it here at my home. But yeah, it never felt rushed. It never felt like it was speeding through something, or it just kind of left something that it should have done or developed more of. It was the exact opposite to Pacific Rim Uprising. And if you want to see my thoughts of that movie and the original Pacific Rim, you can check it out in the card here or here, whichever side it is. As I've said, this movie does a brilliant job of setting up other characters, good, bad, or in that grey area, for other movies. You get a really nice look into the whole universe of Mortal Kombat, and it doesn't overload you with exposition, which is great. I also thought they did a pretty good job of integrating the exposition of this world into the movie and into the dialogue scenes with different characters, and it never felt particularly forced in there. Depending on how you watch movies and how receptive you are to picking those things up, you might notice a little bit here and there, but not really, for me anyway. And there are a couple of cameos or extended cameos in here that set up some characters that I want to see going forward. That being said, the roster of Mortal Kombat characters, and especially bigger Mortal Kombat characters, was actually quite small. They didn't overdo it. They had a good few no-name creatures and villains and stuff like that in here for anybody and everybody to fight, which was cool. It gave you some cool fight scenes. It meant the main character, whether they be good or bad, fighting that no-name villain, or that opponent rather, could slice and dice and not have to worry about killing off another big character. They definitely kept it small cast, small runtime, to kind of get new people invested in the world, invested in the main characters and main storyline enough to get them excited and give them sneak peeks at other parts of the world, so that hopefully they will spread the word to their friends and they can do more of these. Because I know that since this movie has been out for a couple of weeks, the Mortal Kombat fan base has definitely, it's pretty receptive and pretty positive about this movie. There are a few things that people, hardcore fans, would change. I am not one of them. I am just a fan. And if you're just a fan, or if you're new coming into this universe, even if you know who Scorpion or Sub-Zero or maybe Raiden is, just because one of your friends likes this game, or just because of pop culture around the world, you definitely won't feel like you can't learn about this world. They do a good job of letting new people into this world in a way that those new people can really get invested into the storyline. And I would say that if you watch this movie and you really like this movie, that you should go out and get at least the last couple of newer games, if not all of the games. There are now 11, I think. But yeah, they've slowly been evolving, they've slowly been getting better and new things, and there is a vast range of Mortal Kombat characters. So I can't wait to see them in future movies. And as I've said a few times, you know, it's had good enough reception from the Mortal Kombat fan base and from other people who might not be either hardcore fans or might have only just dipped their fingers into this pool of awesomeness, that I am very hopeful for them to make a second one. Warner Brothers does an awesome job of their animated content, especially their animated movies. So yeah, I think all round a good job. And yeah, my only real gripes with this are that it was a little bit short. You know, I thought it could have probably gone for an extra 10, maybe 15 minutes. And just fleshed out a few other things. But besides that, it was cool. They do a very good mix of fighting and just non-fighting. Really, really good job by Warner Brothers and NetherRealm. Oh, and last but not least, it is very, very rewatchable. Now, one thing that I like in movies, and will be grading movies on, because I would like to continue to do movie review / thoughts. I never want to be a professional reviewer who goes, yes, it's a good movie because of these things, or no, it's a bad movie because of these things. I thought that this movie, and considering I've watched it about 3 times, because of its short nature, because of its quickness, its quippiness, but its awesome fight scenes, makes it very, very rewatchable. And I could give it a couple of days and easily go back and rewatch it. That is how good I think it is. Now, you might be a little bit different, but if you watch it and then a couple of months go by, maybe 2 or 3 months, and you're looking for something to watch, something that's not too long and is just mind-numbing entertainment, I would definitely recommend this one, because you could probably sit down. Yes, you've seen it before, but there are also a few Easter eggs in there that you might be able to spot the second or third time through. So anyway, go check it out, guys, and enjoy. But until the next one, bye guys!